we've got 12 rich and famous people who were at one time homeless.
Welcome to the closing table with the Money Guys, Sidney Young and Jared Parrish. This episode is being brought to you by Allura Financial, AlluraFinancial.com, your source for real estate investment funding. Now, presenting the Money Guys.
Hello. Sit down. It is the closing table with Money Guys. My name's Sidney Young.
And Jared Parrish.
We're the Money Guys. We got
Yo Money.
Hey, it is Thursday. Guess what? April 1st, dog.
It is.
April 1st. It's supposed to be April Fool's, but you know what someone told me this morning? There's so much foolish crap going on this year, you can't top it with anything April Fool's.
Nope.
So
And frankly, with all of the jokes that I've thought of for April Fools, I was like, that's just bad karma.
April 1st, Thursday, tomorrow's Good Friday, then Easter Sunday. We're broadcasting live from downtown Houston, Texas, which at times can be interesting.
It can be very interesting.
You know, there was a
so
guy.
educational.
Okay, this morning started out kind of strange. Got to the office about 8:30. There's a homeless guy out there sleeping on the bench. No big deal. It happens all the time out here.
Yeah, no big deal.
So 2 hours later, I happened to notice he hadn't moved one bit. I'm thinking, damn, is he dead? So
then I get the call, and they say, hey,
when
when you
you
walk by,
when you walk it in, man, check on that guy.
pick up that stick, just kind of give him a few jabs. Now, I walked by, and the guy was breathing. It was pretty shallow breathing.
Yeah. But, you know, good news is we did end up calling the ambulance to check him out, and he was fine. He was a little upset that they woke him up because he was sleeping pretty good. But you know, in every major city, there's homeless issues in downtown area.
Yeah, there is.
You know, not a whole lot we can do about it. You know, it's sad because there's not a whole lot you can do, but you want to do things for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, we all try.
We try. But there's homeless issues in every major city. We've nothing we can do about it. We on and on and on. Anyway, so Jared here is like the most ingenuitive person I know. Is that a word?
I guess it's somewhere around there.
Ingenuitive. Which means is he come up with an idea for today's show that I said, oh, that's a good idea.
and you remember what the idea is this time.
Homeless people who have become rich and famous.
So today we've got 12 rich and famous people who were at one time homeless.
Leo, I'm no longer holding the sign. I am the sign.
Be the sign.
Be the sign.
Be the sign. Yeah, and I mean, you know, we've heard rags to riches story.
Yeah.
I mean, these are legitimate rags to riches story. Because
we're not talking people went from zero to 100 grand.
No, a hell of a lot more than 100 grand.
Good.
Yes,
okay.
yes. I mean, we're talking homeless.
Really?
Oh yeah. So, first one on the list today. So we've got Jim Carrey.
He was homeless?
He was homeless. The comedian dropped out of high school and lived in a Volkswagen bus with his family, parked in different places throughout Canada.
Wow, I didn't know that.
They eventually moved into a tent on his older sister's lawn and parked the van in the driveway. Carey said that it was during these tough financial times that he developed a sense of humor. Now, I mean, I've heard this story before. I've heard
myself, and Irene.
Yeah, that's him. The Mask, smoking. But he said now one thing that didn't have in this article that I was reading, but in other interviews that I've heard with him, is he wrote himself a check for $10 million.
I remember that.
And he dated
it. Was $1 million, though, wasn't it?
No, maybe,
I think it was $1 million.
Maybe it was $1 million.
Yeah.
And he wrote himself a check for acting services rendered, and kept it in his wallet. He kept it in there for years. Now he was living in a van.
Will you write me?
He was living in a van.
Will you write me down by the river?
And he said, he was brushing his teeth with a bottle of water.
Oh, wow!
And he would put the check up on the visor, and he'd look at it, and he put a date on there.
Wow!
And it was really close to that date, like within about a week or so of that particular date.
They scored.
Is when he got the contract and payment for Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, wow! Dude, you see? Don't give up.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Sometimes, I mean, it may look like it's never going to work, but you just if you keep hustling.
You'll be in a van down by the river.
And today, so we're talking going from a zero to hero. Today, his net worth is $180 million.
180 mils. He's strange though.
He isn't. He's
He
an
quit
odd duck.
shaving. And
Yeah.
he like
Now he's into this whole Buddhist thing or this weird meditation thing.
Well, it is what it is.
I mean, hey, the Holly weird people.
Holly
I mean,
weirds.
I don't know what to say.
Dun,
there.
dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that anyway.
Yeah, and
You're so money and you don't even know it.
Vince Vaughn.
next one, I didn't know about this. Halle Berry.
No, she was not homeless.
Hell yeah, she was. So she first moved to Chicago to become an actress. Berry ran out of money, and her mother decided the best thing would be not to send her daughter any more cash. So during these struggling times, the actress acknowledged she stayed, she needed to fend for herself, and she actually stayed in a homeless shelter for quite a while.
All right, dude. Holly Berry sleeping on the bench out there. What are you going to do?
I'm not poking her with a stick, that's for damn sure.
This is not the family version.
I mean,
Oh my God.
absolutely gorgeous woman.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And what's funny,
Never ages.
You don't hear about a lot of really attractive females ever going homeless.
That's true.
But
That one throws me off.
Yeah, I know. So she lived in a homeless shelter, and her net worth today,
How much?
$90 million.
Oh, not bad. Not bad. And beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, she could own a homeless shelter now.
Yeah, no shit.
So good for her.
Halle Berry.
Next one really surprised me. How does that make you feel? Dr. Phil.
No way.
Yes, Dr. Phil. So when Phil McGraw, that's
serious?
Dr. Phil's actual name, Dr. Phil McGraw. When he was 12 years old, he was homeless, living in his car in Kansas City with his father, who was interning as a psychologist.
Oh,
Now,
wow.
McGraw later on to obtain his own bachelor's, master's, and then finally his Ph.D. And then he joined his father's psychological practice in Texas.
He has that southern drawl.
Oh, yeah.
How's he talk?
Now, you can't play with kids. They're not toys. Okay? Yeah, these are terrible today. Now Dr. Phil's, and honestly, Dr. Phil, I've got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah.
He had a really
impressive.
good podcast with Ron White. The
Oh,
comedian.
did he really?
Yeah, they're actually really good friends. Now,
Ron's from Houston.
Deer Park actually.
Yeah.
Now the funny thing
Trailer park trash, by the way.
with gotta love him. Now he's loaded.
Yeah.
But the funny thing because there is, I mean, they do have a really good friendship, but the dichotomy between the two of them is really odd because Ron White, big alcoholic,
Yeah.
and Dr. Phil doesn't drink.
Oh.
I mean, Dr. Phil's, he's a pretty conservative guy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
yeah,
you have to do things right.
Yeah.
And they talked about his
Ron, do you really need that drink?
he even asked him, "Why don't you stop drinking?"
I don't want to, Dr. Phil.
And Ron White has a new tequila company.
Yeah, I know.
And,
Yeah.
and Dr.
Yeah.
Phil was trying. He kept sticking his finger in the bottle. He's like, "Quit fingering my bottle." Funny shit.
How much?
Anyway,
How much Dr. Phil worth?
Dr. Phil's net worth today is $460 million.
Dang. Wow.
Good
wow.
for him.
Yeah, no
good
shit.
for him.
He
And
earned
it was
it.
really thanks to Oprah as far as
Yeah,
getting to that
right.
level. I mean, she
Yep.
set him up with the show. So next on the list is Susie Orman.
Oh, I see her on the PBS channel.
Yeah, so she's a well-known Emmy Award-winning
Mm-hmm.
financial advisor who's published numerous New York
I
Times
advise you
bestsellers.
to give me your money.
Yeah, and what's funny is you hear from a financial advisor that was homeless. It's like should I give you? I mean, like, is this for food? I mean, but yeah, so she moved out. She had to live in her van when she first moved to Berkeley, California, in the 1970s.
Well, yeah, but in the 70s, to live in a van in Berkeley, California, that was pretty standard procedure.
Yeah, I guess
That was the
era.
hippie age.
Yeah,
You know, all the long-haired dope smokers?
Oh, yeah.
You'd have fit in good back then.
Oh, I don't have the long hair.
Yeah.
I would be the weirdo.
Oh,
Where did it go, man?
he was here before
know,
we started
right?
smoking this.
And Susie's current net worth,
How much?
$75 million.
Really?
Good for her.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd take it.
She's doing better than Jim what's his name?
Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got 180 million.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry,
never mind.
he's got her beat by
Yeah,
about
he's got
100
her
mil.
beat. Okay.
Next one, Daniel Craig,
I've heard that name.
the actor. He played 007.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
He was homeless?
Bond. James Bond.
James Bond was homeless?
Yeah, he was. So Craig now has several critically acclaimed movies on his resume, but the Hollywood Scoop reported that this 007 actor used to sleep on park benches while he was a struggling actor.
Where do you, in California?
Yeah.
Really?
And now his net worth,
How much?
$170 million.
And he still has a park bench.
Yes. And now he probably still owns that Aston Martin that he got to drive in
No
007. Wouldn't mind one of them.
I've never really watched any of the 007s.
I love them.
Really?
I mean, they're predictable, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of know what.
It's a standard action movie, you know?
Yeah, I used to watch when I was younger. But you know why?
The Bond lady, the Bond,
Yeah, the
Bond,
boob. I mean, Bond lady.
yeah, Bond, yeah, the Bond girls,
The boob girls.
yeah, they always got the good ones.
Yeah.
Good casting. Let's just say that. Next on the list is the singer Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh wow.
So she would go on to sing for President Ronald Reagan in 1981, but before becoming arguably the finest female jazz singer of all time, Fitzgerald was abused by her stepfather when her mother died at a very young age. She was placed in a school for girls after being arrested for dealings with the mafia. I didn't know about that.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Huh.
no. So the police placed her into a school for girls, and then Fitzgerald ran away from there and was homeless until debuting at the Apollo Theater in 1934.
Damn.
Her voice quickly won her fame, and then she went to win 13 Grammy Awards, receiving medals from both President Reagan and George H.W. Bush.
And you know what? Back in those early 30 days, the mafia was huge.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you didn't touch
They
mafia
owned
people.
New
They
York.
owned New York. They owned several places back then.
Yeah.
You know, so she was mafiatized.
Oh, yeah. No, I heard interviews with Michael Francis.
Oh,
And he says, we were in more places than they ever knew.
oh yeah.
He says, we infiltrated everything. And
We're not mafia, but we you know,
but
y'all
we
don't-
play it on TV. and so in 1996, when she passed, her net worth was $10 million.
That's it.
Well, I mean, yeah, that was it.
Wow. But you know, how old she was in her 80s, 90s.
Yeah, she was definitely. I mean,
You
yeah,
see,
probably around
that's
there.
her net worth. She died at one point in her life. It was probably a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah. So Ella Fitzgerald.
So next one, I like this one from the movie, A Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, you talking my boy, the rap
Chris
singer?
Gardner.
Chris Gardner. I don't know him.
No, the movie Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, the actual
with Will
character it was
Smith.
based
Yeah,
on.
the actual guy.
yeah.
Yeah. So before his story was shared with the world, Chris Gardner was living on the streets with his young son.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in the movie, his kid was like 5, 6 years old, but in real life, it was 2.
Really?
He was a baby.
He left a baby by the toilet when he went for a job interview.
No, he didn't leave the kid in the toilet. He had daycare.
Homeless daycare.
Well, it wasn't. No, it wasn't homeless. He just didn't pay, and they kind of complained about it.
You know.
But so at the time he was trying to pursue his career in finance, despite not having any experience nor even a college degree. He received a spot on the Dean Winter Reynolds training program, but could not afford to live off the small salary. And his wife eventually left him. And today, now this guy, I love this story because he didn't know how he was going to do it, but he figured it out. And he just kept, he pushed and pushed and pushed. He became a successful stockbroker, then opened his own broker firm.
How much,
And,
man?
Today he's worth $70 million.
Jeez. Now that's a rags to riches, brother. Right there.
Absolutely.
Shit. Perseverance, man. We don't ever frickin' quit.
Yeah.
Ever.
Now, you know who did quit?
Who?
The company in this next commercial.
It's time for a default commercial. We'll be right back.
Made for sharing, share the fun at Showbiz Pizza Place. We've got family fun at Showbiz, dating fun at Showbiz, everyone fun at Showbiz, Showbiz Pizza Place. We've got eating fun at Showbiz, racing fun at Showbiz, Showbiz fun at Showbiz, Showbiz Pizza Place. Share the fun, come on and share the fun at Showbiz Pizza Place.
shouldn't have quit. They shouldn't have quit.
It's time to pivot.
Hey, we're back to the Closing Table Money Guys talking about rags to riches celebrities.
Yes, people who were actually homeless before they became millionaires.
Yes.
So the last one that we talked about was Chris Gardner. Now he's worth $70 million. Now there's reports that are saying, I mean, they're all over the place. They're saying from $20 million up to $400 million and anywhere in between. The one that I pulled, which to me, Googled, I mean, it's kind of the gold standard right now. They're saying he's worth $70 million. So I'm going to go with that one.
The $70 million
You know
man.
what? I mean, that's just what the government knows about.
What about China?
Yeah, they don't know.
China.
So next on the list, the singer Jewel.
Oh, she was homeless?
She was homeless.
She has that gypsy look.
She does. Kind of like it. So she said that I ended up homeless because my boss propositioned me.
It wasn't for a promotion either, was it?
No, it probably wasn't. He had a position for her, Phil. I'll tell you that. And she said when I wouldn't sleep with him, he didn't give me my paycheck.
Oh, wow.
She says I got kicked out of where I was living because my rent was due the very next day. And I thought,
Jesus.
well, I'll live in my car for a minute until I get back on my feet.
What kind of man is that? That's despicable. Seriously.
That is terrible.
Jeez, man.
I mean, you know, hey, if two consenting adults, I mean, hey, it's whatever. But to do that to someo's
Yeah,
that's
to not have
pretty
any concern for the well-being, that's insane.
Yeah. And now she said that she had bad kidneys and could never hold down a job because she got sick really often. She says I didn't have insurance and almost ended up dying in a parking lot of an emergency room because they wouldn't admit me because I didn't have insurance. Now I have an issue with that claim.
What's that?
Emergency rooms don't turn you away.
Oh, you got a good point.
That's illegal.
Yeah, you got a good point.
They have to treat you.
Yeah, so maybe she fudged it a little.
I mean, I could see people embellishing a little bit in these stories.
Yeah, you know.
And I'm sure she got really sick, and maybe she got really sick and didn't want to go to the hospital because she was worried about not getting admitted. But yeah, I do have a problem with that claim.
Yeah, you make sense.
Sometimes, hey, if you smell bullshit, you got to call it bullshit sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, I do believe that she was homeless. I mean, she said she lived in her car for quite a while. She was in her car for about a month, and then she went back singing. But I mean,
How much she worth though? Today?
She is worth $38 million.
That ain't bad.
Not bad at all.
Wow, $38 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, I know you would.
I'd live in my car for a month for $38 million. Yeah. So another one from a good movie. Remember The Blind Side?
Yeah,
Sandra Bullock.
yeah,
The actual guy that the character was based on, Michael Orr.
yeah.
So during his childhood and teenage years, Orr was living on the streets while his crack-addicted mother lived in public housing. He was eventually taken in to live with a wealthy family. He played college football at the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, and was drafted into the NFL in 2009. If anybody's ever seen the movie The Blind Side, I mean, it goes all into it. And it was a great movie.
But
I
it
thought.
sort of gives a portrayal of Dallas, not Mississippi.
No, actually, they lived in Tennessee.
Oh, okay. Maybe I misunderstood. Never mind.
Yeah. But he was drafted into Baltimore Ravens
Yeah.
in 2009. And for one, one thing they didn't really show in the movie, but yeah, he was great at football, but
Yeah.
he played all sports in college.
Oh, did he?
He played basketball. I think he played.
He's very
baseball.
athletic. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, big dude.
Yeah.
Very big dude. And today, his net worth
How much?
$16 million. Good for
16?
him. $16 million.
It's not bad.
No, because he's not an A-list.
Yeah, it's
athlete.
not bad at all.
But I mean, that's all. I mean, think about where he came from. You know, I mean, grew up in a crack house, and he was fortunate enough to have his family bring him in and show him
Dude,
something
there,
different.
there's guys in the NFL who basically had to beg for food that are now NFL stars. Our local guy who's getting a lot of attention.
And
is
there
one
were
of them.
some NFL guys that went back to begging.
Well, there you go. I
Yeah.
know. I personally used to be in business with one of them. I don't even give him the glory of mentioning his name. A
Don't.
former Houston Oiler. That anyway. Think of Deshaun Watson. Don't think of the way you. He didn't come from a rich family.
No.
He came from a very poor family. Did very well in athletics, and now, of course, he's the Houston Texans quarterback. Got a few issues piddling back and forth in the courts right now, but I think overall, if you have to put him in the scheme of things, overall, he's probably got a good heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, the ones that I was talking about, and it was a bad way that I referenced it, but did you see the movie about? It was another one with Will Smith about CTE. About all these guys that have brain injuries from playing football.
No, never saw.
Yeah,
it.
they went. I forget the name of the movie, but these guys. I mean, they went insane.
Oh wow.
And it's chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Yeah, that
And,
word, encephalopathy.
Yeah, that one. But I mean, anyway, these guys. I mean, a lot of them have committed suicide.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
They go
Yeah.
ape shit. But yeah, so Michael
From
Orr.
rags to riches.
Good
Homeless.
Good job to him.
Yeah. Okay, who else we got here?
Next one, another one that surprises me that she was ever homeless.
She.
Jennifer Lopez.
No, you're full of it.
No,
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer
wasn't
Lopez.
homeless.
She moved out when she was 18. Jennifer wanted to be a dancer, and her mother wanted her to go to college. They didn't quite see eye to eye.
Mm.
If your daughter said that she wanted to be a dancer, and I'm not talking polls here. If your daughter said she wanted to be a dancer, but you wanted to go to college. I mean,
Yeah. So she was living on the street?
Yeah, so she moved out, and she moved out. She started sleeping on the sofa at her dance studio.
Her and A-Rod split.
Oh yeah, they had split.
They split the Lucy.
Yeah, I think she's collecting a lot of wonderful wedding
Wow.
rings out of this, out of all of her deals. But anyway, but Lopez said that after a few months, she landed a job dancing in Europe, and when she got back, she got booked on In Living Color. Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she got booked on In Living Color, and that was her big break.
Mm.
And her net worth today,
How much?
$400 million.
Jesus. That's not even A-Rod's money.
No,
Mm.
no, that's hers. That's a lot. I mean, she's got products. and
Yeah,
she's been in movies and.
I'm
shit.
going to tell you something that's going to shock you too. Another person that went from homeless to successful.
Homeless.
I was homeless for about 2 weeks in Dallas when I was about 18 years old.
Really?
Yeah, I went up there for a job opportunity. Didn't work out, and I basically slept in the bus stop and on the front. I stayed around the bus stop because there was food always in the bus stop. And I remember being starving to death, and people would put food in the thing there, and I'd eat it. And for 2 weeks, I would come in and out of the bus stop, live out front of it, and you kind of get to know your own little people around it after 2 weeks. And then,
oh man, I didn't know that.
what I did was I started walking, and I ended up in Arlington, which is right outside of Dallas. And lo and behold, there was the Arlington Police Department. And I said, I want to go home. So I had no money. I hadn't eaten since the day before. And I walked in the Arlington Police Department. They had the Arlington Police Chaplain come over there. 'Cause I'm 18 years old. And he buys me a bus ticket home. He takes
Really?
me to the bus stop, and he buys me a cheeseburger. And I end up taking the bus home. Joined the military about 6 months later.
Well, I'll be damned.
Yep.
Do you ever follow up with him?
Nah.
Do you remember his name?
I couldn't remember his name. That was so many years ago. Yes, but for 2 weeks, I lived outside of Dallas bus station.
I'll be damned.
Yep.
See, and you didn't give up, did you?
No, you couldn't.
I know.
That's
I'm
right.
sure that adds character.
Well, I'm telling you. But the bathing process is not too good back then. Anyway.
I bet it wouldn't. So we've got we got two more. So I'm going to name one now,
All right.
and we're going to cut and then come back. So Harry Houdini,
Oh, shit.
he was homeless. So at a
He
young
made
age,
his home disappear. That's why.
I know, right? He was too good of a magician. At a young age, Houdini knew he wanted to be a magician, and he ran away from home. It's kind of a common thread. Ran away from home and hopping on a freight car, just like
Oh.
in the old movies. And a few years later, he moved to New York with his father, and they were so poor, Houdini was actually panhandling on the streets.
Oh, wow. He made the money disappear, didn't he?
Yeah, out of their pockets.
Yeah.
When he died in 1926,
Wow.
he was worth $500,000.
Which, how much would that be equivalent today?
I would probably say $5 million to $10 million.
You think so?
Yeah,
Probably
maybe
closer
more,
to 10. Yeah.
more, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
even more. And he never owned a home.
Oh, wow. Because he was homeless.
He was well. I mean, he rented, so I wouldn't say he was homeless, but yeah, he never bought a home.
Wow. You know who also don't buy? The people that are selling you this, because they are no longer in business. We'll be right back.
Today, I'm overseeing some deliveries for Pets.com, purely in an advisory role. I like your shorts. You're a good-looking fella. I hope they're home. Oh, wow, you cats hit the jackpot. There's enough food here to feed a lion. What? goes up. Try to get it. Try to get it. Try to get the burger. Must come down. I got it. Spinning wheel, round and round. Pets.com, because pets can't drive.
What can we say? They're no longer with us. All right.
Memories.
Memories.
Yes.
Okay.
So coming down to our last one here, as far as Rag to Riches, homeless before they became millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Harvey.
No, my
Yeah,
boy Steve.
Steve Harvey.
Oh man,
I love Steve
I
Harvey.
do
I
too.
love this guy. So Steve Harvey, when he was just starting out as a comedian in the late 1980s, one or two gigs fell through, and then suddenly he found himself homeless. Harvey lived in his 1976 Ford Tempo for 3 years.
What?
Yeah, he would wash up in hotel bathroom, gas stations, or swimming pools and showers, and until he was actually called to appear on Showtime for the Apollo.
Oh wow.
Now, he tells this story because he had, you would call your answering machine. Remember back in the day, you go to a payphone and call your answering machine?
Yeah.
So he was broke, and I mean, literally, he had fishing tackle in his car. He would go to a local lake and go fishing, and he was feeding himself out of that. And so he was broke, and he calls, and he was playing a few gigs here and there, and he calls his answering service or his answering machine, and he got a message from the Apollo, Showtime at the Apollo. And he calls the guy. He's like, "Yeah, I need you here this date." And he goes, "Okay, I'll do it." He starts calling clubs all around the area where he's at in Florida, because he had to get up to New York. And he got one gig and then another gig, and he got just enough money for his plane ticket. He flies up to New York, gets to the Apollo, and he had to wait all day, because and they said, "All right, listen, you're here like a day early or some shit like that." And he says, they said, "You have to wait upstairs, but don't come down." He said, "You could just hang out here," because he had nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
So he did that, did a bang-up job there, great show, and then they called him back and eventually placed him as the host. And he did that until moving on to the
Now,
season.
what do
This is a big
all these
breakout
stories have in common? Perseverance. People that never gave up.
And his net worth today is $200 million.
$200 million.
Good job,
Steve.
Steve.
Here's where I look at it. No matter what you're going through out there, man, because everyone goes through it, tomorrow's going to be better. You can't give up. You can't say, "Man, this ain't working. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" You got to come up with ideas. You got to come up with something fresh.
Yeah.
Sometimes take a day out.
And I hate to hear the whole "it's not fair." You know what? Shit isn't fair sometimes.
Dude, life sucks as far as fairness goes.
No shit. I mean,
it's
not. You just have to. I love the quote from Rocky 5 or 6, where he says, "It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward."
And here's another thing. If you are out there and you're climbing that rock, man, you're trying to get to the top of it financially, remember this. It's the words of Grant Cardone. Attention follows money. Money follows attention. I got it backwards. Money follows attention. Create attention, you'll create money. We're doing it right here. We're creating attention to create money. You do the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
This has been the Closing Table Money Guys. I'm Sidney Young.
And Jared Harris.
We're the Money Guys. We got your money.